Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I created Magic and Miracles with one purpose only: to help people of all walks of life all around the world achieve their manifestation goals and dreams. True story. All the information for me is below. As I'm recording this outside my window, there's bagpipes playing. It's so magical. I love this. This is America, darling. Absolutely love it. I love the sound of bagpipes. It's so inspiring, such good luck symbol, and just feeling so groovy. And just happens to be an anniversary for me. I'm not going to say exactly how many years, but over 20 years I've been in America, and mid-October is when I immigrated. So it's very special, very emotional for me, very, very grateful to be here. I'm very grateful to be in America, and it's a reminder of how really lucky we are to be here. Here, you can listen to the bagpipes just a second, if you can hear them. So to be in my coaching, in order to be in my coaching, you need to book a 1-hour session first, in which session we rendezvous, we talk about what's going on. I give you my advice, obviously, and of course, which even if you don't proceed to coach with me, if you cash it in, you will succeed. I guarantee it. If you take action on what I gave you, the direction I gave you, I give you my all, even in the first hour. But upon conclusion of the said session, you need to be prepared to book the signature coaching package. This is how I introduce people into my coaching with this intensity of 3 times per week, rendezvousing via Zoom or via phone call. All right. And everything's recorded for posterity for you to rewatch later, or maybe once you even exit my coaching and complete it. But I do recommend 2 to 3 months in this way in coaching with me, because, and here's why, your belief system needs to really be shocked in the most benevolent way, but shocked nevertheless, because chances are you coming in with a belief system that's really kind of fraudulent, let's just say, and it's not letting you access the things that you really want to access, like a specific person, more money, more success, more confidence, etc., etc. Most people come to me with DSP situations, but generally speaking, it kind of goes into all areas of your life. I've also met people who excel at work and are very good with money, but in the confidence department and in the ASP department, there are some opportunities definitely that need to be worked out. So my coaching process is very unique in that it's very detail oriented, very thorough. I take great pride in that. I've constructed this coaching program myself. Out of the last 10 years of being a coach, 7 years outside YouTube, 3 years now on YouTube. My predecessor channel is below. I've walked away from 22,000 subscribers because, quite frankly, that channel got hijacked by haters. More about that later, or you can just watch the other channel. There's some videos there dedicated to that, and on this channel as well, because I just had to explain to people what has been going on behind the scenes. And although I truly do not like to complain, I just had to explain as much as possible so that people can just really be up to date of what has been happening. But I've constructed this coaching program because I created it from my own personal experience. 15 years ago, I had to undergo my own process, my own deep dive. And I really saw the opportunity because at the time I was looking for a coach myself, and I couldn't find anybody truly genuine, one, and two, who truly understood how to really take a person through the process of examination of the past and connecting all the dots and making sense of why they're not achieving what they really want to achieve today. And all the answers are within you. All the answers are in your past. They're very much influencing you today. And the way that I explain it is that energetically you're tainted by your experiences, and you need to process the emotions that are connecting you still with the what I call mama drama, panorama, the unpleasant experiences that unfortunately you've undergone and really affected you to such a degree that they affected your self-esteem, your self-confidence, all right? Once that's processed and you really understand that those events have very little to do with you, especially if you were a child, and most of these experiences, they happened in childhood, right? And, in adolescence as well, but the formative kind of understandings about who you are and what you can and cannot do really start in your childhood, unless you're influenced by another person. In my case, that's what happened. Who contradicts that programming, you're very much kind of very subdued by that notion of being powerless, of being a certain way, that there is no other way to be. So in other words, you're living out somebody else's life right now, influenced by your parents, maybe somebody else who was around you growing up. You need to change that timeline. You need to change that emotion. The background emotion of your story needs to change. And that's, in a nutshell, what I help people do in my coaching. So 2 to 3 months in this coaching. There are other packages. Everything is directly below. The other thing that I would recommend is the new members only lives package that I just introduced. It's at $250. This is the introduction into coaching with me. It's on Zoom. You need to sign the coaching agreement for that as well, just to be in coaching with me, period. But for this particular package as well. And what we do in those lives is that, for example, this coming Wednesday, we will be discussing the extraordinary power of telepathy, which a lot of people happen to be very interested in, and I don't blame you. It's very, very powerful, this topic and this practice. So to sign up, you need to sign the coaching agreement, and we will rendezvous once a week for the lives, and how that differs from the regular lives, which for the time being, I'm not going to be conducting until further notice, is that you get to ask questions and we get to see each other's face. I get to interact with you. You get to interact with me. It's a whole other situation, whole other environment. And whatever I will give you, again, you can take it to the bank, so to speak, and cash it in, and you will succeed. Now, please don't misunderstand. This is not coaching. This is just an opportunity for us to rendezvous in this very specific way. And again, open to suggestions. If you guys want me to create a package where we do this twice a week for the time being, as my channel is growing and we're kind of getting back on track, I'm able for the time being to accommodate that, but I do need to double the price because it's only fair, as many people as I can handle at the same time in live. And it's probably going to be over an hour for sure, because if I'm answering questions in your specific situation, then it will definitely become an hour on top of the notes that I already have. All right. If you have any questions, please email me. And as usual, I just wanted to big subscribe and big thumbs up for those who are new and for those who are just joining. I always channel for my channel and I channel in my coaching. That's what I do here. So the topic of today, I'm just going to let the bagpipes play. I'm not going to edit the sound out. It's so fabulous indeed. The topic of today is the infallible way to manifest SP movement. All right. Everybody I know wants that. Even if you haven't seen this person for a long, long time, this for sure will work if you are diligent and if you are committed. All right. Now, in coaching, what I work on a lot is on the confidence of your power, not just confidence in social situations and in dating, but on the confidence of your power, that you are very powerful indeed. When you're convinced of your power and when you're determined, nobody and nothing can stop you. But if you're really doubting your power, yes, there could be delays, and it may feel like you're waiting for somebody else, like your SP or something else to happen for you to start being convinced of your power. You already hold the power. You are the golden Buddha, as I call your ultimate state, your God state, if you will, the original state of your being that is all powerful. You simply forgot and maybe are forgetting still, but I'm reminding you here. So first, let me tell you something very important. Yes, you can visit the parallel timeline, or maybe you are on that timeline now. and you're feeling desperate, but you're not desperate at all, that you're under the impression of being desperate, is one thing. You may be visiting a desperate world in that sense. But in actuality, you're not desperate. You've never been desperate. And this has absolutely nothing to do whatsoever with how you look, where you come from, how much money you have, whatever, whatever. I don't care what the situation is right now. In fact, you're not desperate. You were born free. You were born creative. You were born a golden Buddha and possessing all the power that you'll ever need for the rest of your life, for millennia, and for other lives ahead, okay? In fact, you're pretending to be desperate. Whilst you're visiting a desperate world, the only role you can play is one of a desperate person. And just like you can play a desperate person, you can also start playing a very confident person. And I discussed this a lot on my predecessor channel as well as on this one, how when I was modeling for 10 years, from 15 to 25, in the beginning stages, especially when I came to New York by myself, mind you, I had no family here, nobody to fall back on. But I was a really timid teenager and, lacked confidence, quite frankly. Coming from a home of a narcissistic mother, and on top of it, that's why I was kind of like really being insecure, because I wasn't celebrated for my achievements. I was modeling since 15 and, back home. But here in New York is a whole different market. So I had to really put on this persona of confidence until I really reached the level of confidence that I really wanted. Now, parenthesis here, the real confidence came much later, when I was 29, when I actually took the deep dive and reconstructed my belief system. And after that, nobody could really fuck with my confidence. True confidence can never be shaken, okay? It's not something that, one day it's here and one day it's not. No, it's yours forever. So the only mind then to convince is your own, that you are this confident person, that in fact is this powerful, that you have this power to speak something into existence, to visualize or to write down, and this is law in your reality. Okay. But again, this is something I work on in my coaching, and it doesn't happen overnight. Yes, you can put on this aura, and this is, the introduction, as I just illustrated with the example of me modeling, and you can start kind of mimicking what it's like to be that version of you, not another person altogether, but the version of you who right now in the parallel timeline very much exists and operates from this feeling. Okay, of I can do anything I want as long as it's benevolent, and I can get anything I want. As long as it's benevolent, I don't need to manipulate, I can manifest, all right? So going back to the SP is that the number one thing to convince your mind of is that it's easy for you, is that it's easy. Right now, you again may think that you're desperate. You are not. If you can start introducing this idea to yourself that this is commonplace, this is completely common, this is real, this is easy, it has always been easy for this version of you to get any kind of communication, to get any kind of movement, to get the attention of your SP without trying. Okay, key element here, without trying, just comes naturally to you. It's your aura. You're putting on that aura, and your mind starts communicating with that version of yourself who is already living out this situation. And thus, incrementally, you start traveling, in quotations, to that timeline, or rather accepting this new normal that this confident person has every single day. So making it easy in your mind, not making it such a desperation, but making it like, yes, this happens to me all the fucking time. It's easy. It's like, name a thing that's really easy in your world. Like, you go brushing your teeth in the morning. Do you think about it? Do you fret about it? Do you make a big deal out of it? No, it's as simple as going to your bathroom, taking your toothbrush and brushing the teeth. It's the same thing with the SPs, but I'm telling you, it's the same thing with the SPs. When I taught myself that through confidence I can get jobs as a model, and I can get the attention of anybody that I want in order for me to get the job and later get the attention, or rather not really get, but attract the attention of any suitable partner that I really would like, who was benevolent towards me and who really appreciated me. I made it just as easy as going to the bathroom and brushing teeth. It has to become norm for you, you see. If you're making it difficult in your mind, it's going to, by law, by the universal law, is going to continue being difficult, because you, in fact, kind of scripting the script of that reality, scripting the script of that timeline, saying, in this reality, for this character that I'm playing, it is difficult. This is the setup. This is what I'm kind of dictating. But it doesn't have to be. Nobody says that it has to be difficult, and it doesn't have to be difficult for you. Again, I don't care who you are, how old you are, how long it has been, what you look like, what kind of faults you have in your opinion, and all that fucking jazz is out the window. What you're looking for is the vibration of, this is normal for me, this is natural, I expect it. All right. Making it easy and comfortable for you to accept it is also another thing. Okay. Just accepting that, all right, this is my life. It's not a big deal. Like, I don't have to kind of like scream and shout every single time they text me. You understand? It's not an event. Like, nobody's rolling out the red carpet. Nobody's popping champagne in that sense. Nobody's blasting fireworks. You understand? This is the level of confidence that you really would want to reach if you want to make it an everyday affair. So when you're convinced in that way, and again, it happens gradually, right? I want to stress it happens gradually. Don't ask of yourself these easy fixes promoted by the community out there. It just doesn't exist, my darling loves. It just really does not. Don't stress yourself out. Put one foot in front of the other. What is the easiest thing for you to work on today? Okay, baby steps. And if you make any progress whatsoever today, congratulate yourself. You're a winner. The second thing that I really want to say, that it is infallible, but with a little twist, if I may. So Neville teaches, or taught it rather, a long time ago, in his own way. And he said, just imagine it with senses. So touch it, the feel of, he would describe different items, feel the tennis ball, feel the golf ball. It's a different feeling. So it's very much this, right? But what I would say and what I would add is that you immerse yourself into a different world. You allow yourself to step in there. Yes, with senses, this helps a lot. And in a sense, visualization is part of senses, right? Because let's just say you're manifesting, I don't know, a text message, and you certainly know what it looks like to receive a text message. At least I hope so, from this particular SP, or to hear their voice, right? That's senses. Or to, I don't know, visualize a certain amount of money, if that's what you're after, in your bank account. Like, visualizing with senses is one part of the deal. Like, surely you can imagine it. Surely you can see, let's just say you check your phone and you see their name pop up, right? But what you're also looking for is for the feeling of doneness. Okay, that it is a done deal. It's done as done can be. It's so done. It's kind of like you know your name. Like you live in your city, like that day night follows day, like that it's October all around the world right now. This is the feeling of doneness you're looking for, that once you visit this parallel world in which you imagine any kind of movement. Now everybody's individual, so whatever it is in particular you're working on, whether that's a proposal, them popping the question with the ring over a dinner, or them simply telephoning you, text messaging you an apology, whatever that is for you, right? The imagination, the imagery, the sensory vividness of it, as Neville would put it, complete with the feeling of doneness. I don't have to do anything. It will come to me whilst I reside, okay, in my feeling, in my emotion, in my commitment, in my marriage to this new world. I can no longer afford, in that sense, looking back at the old world. I need to be present in this world if I am to be committed to this world and experiencing what it has to offer me, which is a great deal. And the fun part, again, is that you do get to script this world from scratch. Now, you'll never script a world for yourself that doesn't already exist. And that, too, to me, is the most fun part ever. Because there isn't such a configuration that you can put together that does not already exist. So you're not being that original in that sense. And at the same time, you're not limited by anything. So it's not a matter of like, I have this declaration and differs from affirmations, which people repeat endlessly. I like the word declaration. I have this declaration in my office. Don't ask me what is possible. Everything already is. All right. So you with your script or your little blurb or however you do your practice, I teach scripting in a very specific way in my coaching, if you'll ever end up in my coaching. But to script this reality with the feeling of once I complete this little script, complete this little blurb, or maybe not literal, maybe it's a lot. I mean, some people write pages in my coaching. It is done. It was done before I ever took the pen to paper. All right. It was done before I ever started contemplating this world. So this is how done it already is. All you need to do for your mind, for your human mind to arrive to such a point, I don't really need to suffer anymore. I just need to make my choice and commit to this world where I feel a certain way. And listen, you can switch worlds in one day. It's just how much commitment do you have towards this new world, all right? So if you are convinced indeed, after some time of massaging your mind with certain visualizations of, let's just say, them popping the question or of them telling you, I love you, I made a mistake, can I please come back? And it becomes such a real story in your mind, and you start sourcing again the thought forms and the inspirations from that world. You've just entered this world. Things are going to change naturally for you. They're going to progress naturally. Are you choosing that world on purpose, or are you still remaining in the desperate world where there is no movement, there never will be any movement? That's how the world is constructed. Your job is to choose your world wisely through deliberate commitment of what is it that you want to happen. And if this is happening and my mind is convinced that this is what's happening, then I feel differently and I act differently. I'm not acting like the fucking desperate person. I'm acting as the confident person. That aura that I put on in the beginning of me making the decision to jump timelines is now starting to pay off. And it's so in a way, when I elected this timeline, in the minute I made that selection, I have become a different person. So again, it's my job to get to know who this fucking person is. Because again, right now you're playing a completely different role. It doesn't become you. Every time I coach somebody who struggles with SP situation, which is the majority of my clients off of YouTube, it looks as though they're playing a different character. Honestly, for an onlooker like myself, for a coach, it looks as though you're playing a different character other than who you really are, which is, again, what I call the golden Buddha. It's almost like it's so obvious to me that this person very much deserves, deserves is kind of like really kind of deserves, a really hard verb, so to speak, but it's yours. It's not even deserve. It's yours already. And you're still acting like you don't know it, you see. So the only mind to convince is your own, but gradually so. You can choose an idea today, whatever it is you're working on, and start conversing with that reality, rendezvousing with it, and telepathically downloading the messages, downloading the telepathic communication with your other version. Okay, that's how you will convince. You will see, day after day after day, it will become more and more normal and natural. So the only mind to convince is your own through this practice of visiting this reality. This is what's happening. And at first blush, it's unbelievable. Because for the desperate version of you, it is fucking unbelievable. But for the confident version of you on the other side, it's very much fucking believable. It's the norm. So what you're reaching for is for your mind, not for the SP to show up and propose to you, but for you to be completely convinced this is exactly what's going to happen. Because once you get on the other side, when you really just, it's matter of fact for you at that point, it's like, yeah, well, duh, of course they're going to propose to me. Like, what was I thinking before? You're going to laugh at yourself. Okay, ever so benevolently, but laugh at yourself. Like, what was I thinking? Miss silly me on the other side, that old version of me, the desperate version, knows nothing. How limited, how poor thinking I was that I was limiting myself to this desperation. Nobody should live this way, but nobody, I tell you. And imagining it with senses. I mean, that just stimulates your human mind to the capacity, all right? And again, acting as if. Now that I am in this imagery, now that I see, now that I hear what I want to hear, who am I? How do I act? Am I still in the same shitty mood? Or am I elevated? And what will happen is that the universe will mimic your song, the vibration that you put out, and it will bring this timeline to you. Like when I say jumping timelines, jumping parallel realities, or when people say that, you're not actually jumping anywhere, it's just coming to you. You are a channeler, in fact, of timelines and parallel realities. So this is how, on any given day, you can create movement of that so far away seemingly reality that was so far away, maybe even for years, but now suddenly came right over here because you changed your mind about who you are. This is how I roll. This is my personality, but not in a, I gotta grab it way or I gotta like manipulate it way. It's natural and normal because now I understand how this universe is constructed. It's constructed out of different stories, out of different theater productions, mise en scène, as they say in French, out of movie production sets, etc. I just have to decide what the fuck kind of role I want to play, and how do I then mimic that role for the time being as I'm getting into the role. It's literally like being an actor, but not, being psychotic about it, but actually genuinely understanding that you have different versions, different parallel versions who you at any point can become. Like think back 10 years prior or 20 years prior, you were a different fucking person. There's no comparison to who you are today. In the same manner, you can definitely quantum leap into another version of yours and fast forward with speed and complete, lightning speed, in fact, if you're really determined and dedicated. Now, don't force it. Always use this as a fairy tale, a story. I'm enchanted with this proposition of this can happen quickly. Don't force it. Don't look at the clock. Don't check anything. If your mind is convinced, if you're really living and breathing this scenario, if you really are going to sleep like feeling peaceful, if you're waking up feeling peaceful, not stressed, not desperate, okay? Again, this is something I work on in my coaching. You're there, darling. And it's only a matter of short period of time before the outside starts mimicking back to you. Okay, it came over here. Instead of you running around trying, chasing, dooba-dooba-doo, it came over here and started accommodating you, you see. The world is for you, not against you. And again, I just want to stress this feeling of doneness. Now, whatever that does for you, in my coaching, a lot of people come in with, religious backgrounds. I myself grew up into religion, so I understand like sometimes prayer helps. And whatever does it for you, this feeling of I asked, I prayed, and my prayer will be answered. No problem. Now, today I still pray, I just pray differently, not necessarily to some entity called God, although I do believe in God just differently. But I have my spiritual squad, my guardian angels. I do very much believe in angels. They always help me. And you have, your guardian angels and your spiritual squad. Everybody's assigned a spiritual squad. So if you want to utilize your helpers and pray to them, as in shoehorning yourself into your own power, ultimately, though, parenthesis here, you have all the power. The spiritual squad is just there to assist you in that sense. But if you need some time, to really kind of digest this new emotion of being all powerful, you can ask them and say, can you help me feel more powerful? Can you help me access this reality where I feel more confident? They will help you in your sleep. They will create downloads for you. They will send you visions in your dreams, and you will start, again, incrementally downloading this reality. Your mind, when it becomes convinced of a certain reality, of a certain personality from which you are creating, all right, it starts creating a new reality, a new 360 bubble. If you can achieve this feeling of doneness, and you're so resolute, you're so absolutely convinced of this reality you've just formulated, and again, doesn't have to take a long time. And it does, I mean, what can I say? It does help if you have a helper, like a coach next to you, who is guiding you and guiding you through, some spirals you might have, the looking back at the old world, etc., etc., etc. But if you can achieve this feeling of doneness, and again, achieve this peace inside, it can happen so quickly, your head will spin. And again, you will say to yourself, what the fuck was I worried about? Because for the new personality, for the new person who was able to manifest this, it's so normal and natural. It's like a blink of an eye. I promise you, it's like a blink of an eye. It only seems impossible for you right now, or very hard, okay? Yes, because the long time and blah, 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 because you live in the wrong timeline. You live with the wrong impression of who you actually are. If it's a done deal, if your mind is convinced, you don't have to run around convince anybody, but anybody. You're convinced, you're living free in your mind, you can create anything. And this scene, this proposal, or this apology, or whatever the fuck you please, will come to you so naturally. And on to the next one you will go and create more magical shit that will blow your mind and continue to blow your mind over and over and over. And to onlookers, it will seem like you must be doing black magic. Some haters think for sure that I'm a black magician. No such thing. Just because I say that manifestation is easy doesn't make me some kind of a weird person. I just follow the yellow brick road of the inspiration inside my heart. I just follow the yellow brick road of the laws of the universe. You don't have to torture anybody. You don't have to manipulate. You don't have to torture yourself. You don't have to manipulate. You don't have to fabricate. You just need to manifest. You just need to be inspired. You just need to be in that frequency of, I can do anything so long as I'm benevolent, and I can go anywhere to any timeline. I can experience any fucking thing. And yes, it's easy because it's for my own good. If I am joyous and happy, then I vibrate joy and happiness into the universe. And that's what I'm supposed to fucking do in this earthly experience. In that sense, I'm in the flow and in the vibration of the laws of the universe. So everything will come naturally. Everything will come easily to me. Thank you very much for listening. All the information from me again is below. Until next time. Ciao, ciao.